Before we masticate on turkeys, let's feast with some hockey. Tartan and Northern Edge, live on SCC in a pre-holiday showdown. Winter is here, and that means hockey is in full swing. I'm Mike Beaton, glad you can join us on this night before Thanksgiving. It is cold and windy outside, but no snow to worry about. That's perfectly fine, though, because indoors we are shielded from the elements. This game is, at least on the surface, difficult to gauge, and that's because Tartan, they've been on both ends of the spectrum. They opened the season with a 12-0 loss to St. Thomas Academy. Their most recent affair, a 13-1 victory over Malacca. Northern Edge lost their first game of the year, 7-3 to Chisago Lakes. It was a game that was tied through 2 periods, and then a bad 4-minute stretch, in the words of Jason Heer, who you can see on screen, changed the course of the game. So it was one of those situations where Northern Edge had a chance to win it, but it just got out from under them. They will hope to avoid a similar stretch of mayhem in this Wednesday night battle. As the starting lines are introduced, here's a snapshot of the Tartan North program. Both teams are co-ops. McGuire, Pavel, Rosenthal, and Rutherford, the captains. The biggest change for this year, Tartan and North moving down to Section 4A. So the Titans in past years had been in 4AA, but every 2 years they reclassify and they were moved down to 4A, which will now put them against the likes of Matamidi in terms of getting through the section and on to state. Northern Edge, they've cycled through a few head coaches and they're trying to bounce back, trying to build their way up after just 6 wins a year ago in the Mississippi 8, a co-op of North Branch and St. Francis. And we'll talk more about this game after the Star Spangled Banner. As you saw in the opener, both teams have reached the state tournament in the past, Tartan doing so about 20 years ago, and Northern Edge doing so once when it was just North Branch. North Branch and St. Francis, located north of the cities, up along I-35. And while we're still early into the season, we'll give you some players to keep an eye on. As we said for Tartan, it's tough to know what to expect, but while Rutherford with a pair of goals and a pair of assists in the early part of the year, all of them came in that 13-1 win over Malacca. As we said, they opened the season with a 12-0 loss to St. Thomas Academy. Northern Edge, just the 1 game, but Riley Dufour had a solid year in the most recent campaign, 14 goals, 6 assists. And whenever there is a new season, as I always say, it takes usually a couple of weeks for trends to emerge. The starting goaltenders, it's Nathan McGuire for Tartan North, .857 save percentage, and you can see 6.5 goals allowed, most of them coming in the St. Thomas Academy game. Gage Husby will get the start for Northern Edge. Played really well up until that third period, and Jason here had missed a couple of plays. There were some big saves in the first few frames. Let's see what happens as we get underway here. It's strapped along the far side of the boards. Now it's picked up by Northern Edge. They're wearing the navy, and Tartan wearing the white. Tartan looking for the takeaway. They can't get it. Luttrell will retreat. Puck gets away. It will be icing on Northern Edge. All the sports now underway for the winter slate. Girls hockey got their start earlier this month. Boys hockey just underway. Basketball underway. So all sports are done. Martin wins the faceoff. Trying to lead it up for Quentin Renicle. Couldn't do it. And that's Riley Dufour. A pass behind. Northern Edge looking to clear and change things up. That is part of this game. A lot of line changes. Trying to keep everyone fresh. Now Tartan looking to bring the puck up. That's Benny McClellan. 27 points in his career. We'll have a face-off in the Northern Edge zone. A lot of juniors and seniors along the primary rotation. There's a shot from deep. It is deflected by Husby for an early save. He already has a couple. Flip up the ice. Tartan will pick it up in their own zone. Got to be careful with the passing. When you're in front of your own net, the puck gets back to number 8. It's Ian Smith who tried to get the shot attempt. Now Tartan looking to skirt the puck around the boards, and it carries right back over to Smith. Now Northern Edge will backpedal, try to clear it. Tartan there for the takeaway. That's Tyler Luttrell. Martin tries to go around. And Tartan can't hang on to the puck. He gets away from them. Rutherford will track it down. Martin again. Swooping in is Rutherford to take away a potential Northern Edge takeaway. Tartan can't do much with it as Northern Edge regroups, and that pass gets away. It will ricochet all the way the other end of the ice. So we'll have a face-off in the Northern Edge zone. Northern Edge in 7AA, as you saw in the pregame. And Tartan, again, down to 4A. Interference call on Tartan. Charlie Campbell goes to the penalty box. Our first power play chance. We'll take another look. Just a big hit. As you know, checking is allowed. But there are limits to it. Quentin Remical with the interception. That will allow him to dump it behind the northern edge net and at least give him some time in this power play, the first of the game. Tartan, by the way, beat Northern Edge 4-0. It's only the third time these two teams have met. There's a shot save by McGuire. Tartan flipping it down ice, looking for a shorthanded opportunity. McClellan takes a shot, and it screens wide left of the net, but not by much. We'll keep an eye on that. Tartan doing well on penalty kills so far. They'll clear another one right to Husby. Stopped it with the stick, but that was a pinpoint clearance, if I say so myself. Tartan dumps it again. The penalty kill all over it. The co-op of the district rivals, now Northern Edge, was trying to lead a potential scoring opportunity, but could not do so. Tartan had a couple of power play goals in the win over Malacca as they scrambled to get another shorthanded chance. They also scored a shorthanded goal in that victory over Malacca. They won't get a shorthanded score here, but they will kill off the power play. Northern Edge had one real crack at it. Now Tartan trying to get that on-man rush again. That was Carter Parent trying to lead the way. Gets another try. Wide left it goes. Remical with the glove. Again, you can glove it as long as you drop it right away. Martin passes it over to Luttrell as the Titans retreat. Northern Edge really whiffed, trying to regain control of the puck. Here they come. This is Evan Scott. Tartan pinches them off again. Like we said, this one a little hard to gauge because of the nature in the early part of the season between these two teams. Parent, or that's Pavel, I should say, gets bumped around. Hunter Sanders, Northern Edge still having trouble getting an open lane. Tartan pinching them off almost every opportunity here in the first period. Campbell back out there after the penalty was peeled off. Rutherford trying to bounce it off the boards. Pavel's there. Goes back out to Campbell. But the puck deflects off his stick. Shot wide left. Tartan tried to strike again. That was Colton Tesser. Wide open look for Pavel as Husby was in a vulnerable spot. He was trying to dive for it. That left the top of the shelf open, and Pavel goes up to the Thin Mints. Nom, 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 nom. Pavel with his 4th goal of the year. Got a little help from his teammate who won the scramble. .634 in the first period is the time of the goal. They win the faceoff. Trying to add to it. Colton Tesser credited for the assist. He was the one who got the puck out of that scrum. Shot from deep. Glove save Husby. And Tartan asserting themselves in the early going. We'll do this again after the face-off, and Husby having to freeze it again. Tartan 11-15 a year ago. They win another face-off, but this time the puck gets away. Back to retrieve it is Martin. On the left side, trying to bounce it behind the net. And around it goes. Martin trying to get on top of it. McClellan able to do so. Remical nearly retrieves. Can't quite do it. Right now, this period belonging to Tartan Northern Edge, just one shot on goal. And every time I see them try to traverse down ice to get into scoring range, Tartan has been able to pinch them off, trap them along the boards, along the sides. Displaying a little physicality, passes slightly offline though. And now Northern Edge is trying to flip the field, can't quite do it. Alex Bennis gathers, and the puck bounced off one of the Northern Edge bench players and back onto the field of play, or I should say the rink, the ice. So we'll have a face-off at neutral. There's Cole Leitch. Been the head coach at Tartan for a good while, 9th season, closing in on 100 career wins. Jorgensen. Called offside. I did see at least one Tartan player ahead of him on the blue line before he crossed. So face-off at neutral ice. The head official having a word. Tartan wins the face-off. Pavel trying to squeeze through and does for the score! Tyler Pavel makes it 2 goals in the first on that squeeze play following the face-off win. And this is the scenario Jason here and Northern Edge wanted to avoid. Again, it was tied 2-2 with Chisago Lakes, then a bad 4-minute stretch took the game away from them. Tartan scoring a pair of goals in 1 minute and 45 seconds. High sticking called, 8:07 left in the first. We'll just have a face-off in the Tartan zone. No penalty assessed. Tough break for Tartan, at least in that context, because they were ready. Oh, Northern Edge almost had a look of their own. But the lead pass deflected and took an awkward carom. Now we've got to pile up along the near corner. A little tough to see from our vantage point. Tartan, you see what they're trying to do. Create that turnover in stride. They do flip it, and they got past the center line, so no icing. Able to change the lines up at least, as we have 7:25 left in the first. McClellan is trying to glide it. Now we'll have another pinch along the far left corner. Icing called on Northern Edge. As they tried to clear it, they'll have a chance to change the lines at least, but we've seen what Tartan can do following face-off wins. As we noted, by moving down to 4A, they effectively avoid some of the powers in Stillwater and Hill Murray, White Bear Lake, who typically have gone to state as Martin. Hits the shot from the left slot after another Tartan face-off win. That really is the story of this first period. The shots on goal heavily favor Tartan, but it's the face-off wins. There's another one. Perrin, shot deflected. And that is making a huge difference here. Tartan winning face-offs, and kind of like soccer, as they tried to set up for Perrin up front, couldn't do it. But not unlike soccer, you win face-offs, or lacrosse, if you win draws, that gives you more opportunities to control possession. And as we've seen, it has led to more time in the attack zone as Remical takes a spill. Perrin had to shoot it away before he crossed the blue line, as the offside signal was up. Not a whole lot Perrin could do there. Was able to come to a dead stop before going offside. Just one of those unusual circumstances. There's a shot from deep, knocked away by Husby. Back out to Bennis. But he ended up going offside after crossing the blue line, so we'll have a face-off with 5:55 left in the first. Gotta watch out for that when the puck goes behind the blue line out of the attack zone. Jorgensen looking for Pavel, already 2 goals. Giving him 5 on the year. Again, still early. Northern Edge going to get a little more feisty. Hunter Sanders momentarily dislodges the puck out of Tartan's grip, but the Titans are back with it. Pavel again. Now Rutherford looking for Pavel up front, couldn't quite connect. Pavel goes behind, and another offside call as the puck again left the attack zone. But given Tartan's ability to win faceoffs, maybe not the worst thing in the world to take an offside call. I know that sounds strange, but if you know you're controlling the faceoff, it's not the worst outcome, because you can try again as Tartan flings it wide right. Northern Edge, they've got to find a way to get control of the faceoffs, or Tartan could run away with this as the game progresses. They're already up 2-0. There's a tip. Tartan, it's not going to be enough for a breakaway chance. Number 8 was too quick. That was Ian Smith, who stopped the potential breakaway opportunity. Rosenthal sends it back. Northern Edge clears, and they'll change up the line. Matthew Walters making sure he was past the red line. Shear, cross-ice pass. Over to Kieran Moylan. Tartan is just winning all of the hustle categories in this first period. The face-offs, loose pucks, it's adding up. A collision behind the Tartan net allows them to move down ice again. Martin launched it to give Tartan a chance to change up a couple players. You do see that quite a bit as this first period continues. 4:25 to go. Final scheduled broadcast of the month for SCC, but we'll be with you a few times in December. We'll take the Thanksgiving holiday off on the sports side. Northern Edge trying to feast on a rare opportunity. Now that's one way to ensure an icing call. Puck was headed to Husby, so he just spread his legs out and watched the puck go through the 5-hole. We usually talk about that in the context of scoring. But here is a look at that close call for Northern Edge. Ben Fruth nearly in position, but not quite. Another tumble along the near side. Remical. Cross-ice pass looking for McClellan, a little too hard. Battle for the puck. Bennis wins the scrum. McClellan finds Bennis. Shot, save, Husby will have a face-off in the Northern Edge zone. As soon as Husby can find the puck. There it is. Sometimes, and I cannot speak from direct experience, but the goaltenders sometimes get the puck lodged in awkward places amidst all that gear. It's not easy being a goalie. Puck gets over to Husby. Northern Edge able to retrieve it. That's Gavin Gutierrez looking to lead it all the way. Puck goes to the outside of the net. And now nestled behind momentarily. Northern Edge trying to get another shot toward the net. Instead, Tartan flips field position. McClellan swoops around. Northern Edge player, one of them lost a stick. That was Grady Price. He's able to retrieve it, but had to act effectively as a screen until he could. Shot from deep, deflected. There's a push from behind. But incidental, no penalty assessed. Then Crandall with a misplay as he flails the puck, flung it into the seats here at Tartan Ice Arena. 2:28 left in the first. Latrell. Cross ice. As Tartan regathers for another attack. Rutherford trying to bounce the puck around one defender. Can't quite do so. 2:10 to go. Oh, Rutherford almost had it. That was Pavel, I should say. Had a loose puck and a chance. His shot went wide right, but a good heads-up play by Pavel nonetheless. Northern Edge shot and a glove save by McGuire. Alex Hoffman paying a price for that attempt. Absorbing the contact. It's reminiscent of quarterbacks who get hit just as they get rid of the ball, attempting to avoid the sack. We don't have sacks in this sport, but Northern Edge trying to find their shot opportunities when they can. They've started to come around toward the end of the first, but Tartan still in control of this one. As the puck nearly gets wedged along the boards before Tartan comes up with it. Jorgensen over to Alex Bennis. We've seen a few more exchanges in possession. Jorgensen with the check, but Northern Edge has an opening along the left slot. Shot deflected. Under a minute to go in period one. Northern Edge sends it back. They'll keep their line out there. Tartan called for icing. Northern Edge, 6 wins a year ago, trying to change that, and Tartan Again, a few games under 500, but being in Section 4A, that does change the complexion for the group. It may have an impact on seeding as well for Tartan in terms of how far they go. Under 30 seconds now. Moylan, there was a deflection. Tartan able to at least get something out of it as Rosenthal tapped an off-speed shot to Husby. We'll have a face-off in the northern edge zone with 20 seconds exactly in the first period. Another shot. Husby has to freeze it again. The number of face-off wins Tartan has tallied in this first period is a big reason why they have fared well. Leading 2-0. With the possibility for more. Still 2 periods to go, of course, so I imagine some adjustments and some discussions will be had in the locker rooms during the intermission. Mark Burke getting a little jumpy in the face-off circle. Northern Edge wins it this time. And Rosenthal will retrieve it. Tartan will hold on to it and let the first period expire. But it was a fruitful first period for the Titans, who lead 2-0 on a pair of goals from the senior Tyler Pavel. We'll have first period highlights and analysis when we return. This is high school boys hockey on SEC Sports.
Listen up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong, so I won't sugarcoat it. I need each one of you on your A game. The good news is, Anthony, the human body we've been tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with brand new gear to defend against the flu. That's right, we've upgraded our game with this new equipment. They give you a little extra boost. So let's go fight for Anthony, for his mom, his co-workers, that nice lady Patricia that lives down the street with the cute dog. In the face of viral adversity, we make Anthony thrive so he can protect himself and the people he loves most. Are you with me? Yeah!
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Buckle up! Nobody is more prepared for an emergency than Dogman.
With all your kung fu skills and your canine fortitude or whatnot.
But for the rest of us, a good plan goes a long way.
Come on, let's go!
So, whether it's an unexpected disaster or the world's most evilest cat bent on destroying all do-gooders,
Destroy all do-gooders!
you can help your family be ready for anything.
No time to waste. Will you get out of here?
Get started today at ready.gov/kids.
I never realized that I'd be taking care of a 2-year-old and a 9-year-old on my own. Sometimes as dads, I think we're too hard on ourselves. We get down on ourselves on not being able to, we're the providers, but we also have to learn to take care of ourselves. Self-love made me a better dad because I realized my worth. My daughter Isabella recently had a graduation into high school, and I got emotional because I saw pride in her eyes. I saw my daughter have her own self-love, and I saw the hard work of me being that dad 24/7 transferred to my teenage daughter. The word father means a lot to me. When I give my love to my children as a father, I can see it.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. Getting my high school diploma was a catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher. When I look at all these success stories, I could not help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
My dad showcased a sense of love that I never had before. It felt like it was something that I've always wanted. I mean, he's not only my parent, like he's like my best friend.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
Calling all big thinkers. The world's climate is changing. These aren't new facts, but it means we must think in new ways about how we can live, prosper, and provide energy for our world while protecting our planet. Engineers are answering the call to create cleaner, safer, reliable energy. Solar power, harnessing the power of the sun to light all corners of the globe. Wind power, channeling a simple breeze to bring electricity to our homes. Hydropower, using the natural flow of water to generate electricity. Nuclear power, engineering advanced reactors that are safer, more reliable, and produce zero carbon emissions. Engineers are leading the way and empowering the next generation. Engineers answer the call.
Tartan leads Northern Edge 2-0 at the end of one. I wonder what that guy has planned for tomorrow. There are a lot of Thanksgiving rituals. And I'm still Mike Beaton. It has been a game Tartan has controlled from the puck drop, as they are approaching 55 years as a program. As we look at the first period highlights, it was a matter of Tartan winning face-off after face-off. That gave them a multitude of opportunities. Able to score twice. There's Husby picking up one of his 12 saves in the period. But there is one of the goals from Tyler Pavel, squeezing his way through after winning a face-off. And then this was the first goal of the game. Pavel getting the assist from Colton Tesser after the puck was gliding away. Tesser won the scrum and Pavel came up with it. Northern Edge got a little bit of momentum toward the end of the first, but that has been the story. And there's another look at one of the Pavel goals that came following the face-off win. They win a face-off, it leads to a scoring chance, and that continuous pressure has overwhelmed Northern Edge to this point. 15-4 shots on goal. You look at scoring opportunities, that is akin to quality shots in soccer and the like. Tartan with the edge there. And just the one power play early in the first period, so Tartan not having an opportunity to go on the power play yet. We'll see what happens in the following two periods, but the story right now is simple. Northern Edge, they've got to find a way to limit the face-off domination from Tartan. Otherwise, the feast could persist into the second period and beyond. We'll have period number 2 for you in just a few minutes. This is high school boys hockey on SEC Sports.
Mom, did you really need to buy 2 can openers for our emergency kit?
I can't help it. They're 2 for 1. What's this? We need to keep our family communication plan safe in case of an emergency. Thanks, Tita.
Oh, man.
Well, good thing we kept all the lights we used for Diwali.
I've got the battery pack. Keep my phone powered so we don't miss any alerts.
What about game night?
Sounds good.
Oh, we have to get to Mom and Dad's and get them somewhere safe. I've got the evacuation route loaded on my phone.
I've got an updated list of Dad's meds.
And I've got just what we need to get them to take this seriously.
If that doesn't convince them that we thought this through, I don't know what would.
Start a conversation with your family and plan together for emergencies.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is finding the right seat, so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax, it always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Danny.
Danny! Labs.
Danny, we need to talk.
Danny! She's overdosing.
When no one else knows what to do, it's gotta be you. Carry naloxone. You could save a life.
I'm a different kind of threat. You can't call the cops on me. I don't even have to break in. I'm invited.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. It was time for me to change my life and the lives of my family, so I went back and I got my high school diploma. That was the catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher.
Mom, this is your very first yearbook.
Your commitment to education motivates me, your coworkers, and your students.
You showed me that if you come from nothing, you can still be anything.
You told me I deserve to succeed. It's been 15 years, and I still live by that.
You're the model for success for your kids, grandkids, and your students.
When I look at all these success stories, I cannot help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
Tartan awaiting their return to the ice. We'll have the second period in just a moment. The officials have to check the ice first before the players can make their way out. So everyone is standing by. In this pre-Thanksgiving matchup between a couple of teams trying to chart new courses. Tartan obviously doing so in 4A after being in Class 2A. And here come the officials now. Again, they have to check the ice first to make sure it's dry enough for the players. And it appears we are ready to go. Gage Husby, unofficially 13 saves, but as you saw with the shots on goal and in our first period stats, Nathan McGuire, pretty easy numbers for him. 4 shots, he saved them all. McGuire, the junior, 12-17-0, his career record. And 3 shutouts to his credit. Here's a look at the Mississippi 8, and like we said, it is still really early in the season. Monticello, for example, hasn't played a game yet. And no one else has played more than 2, although Chisago Lakes is off to an early start. We'll have to see how that unfolds as the season moves along. But Chisago Lakes could be an early contender for the conference and up in Section 7. Tartan North still in the Metro East. They just moved down a class. Like we said, that means Matamidi will be their foe as Tartan wins another face-off. Stop me if you've heard that before. But if you keep winning face-offs, you can set the tone, as we have, I believe, an offside call. Yes. Here at the Tartan Ice Arena, just underway in the second period. Tartan leads 2-0. They won this meeting last year 4-0 over Northern Edge. It's the 3rd time these 2 programs have met. Glove drop shot, save Husby. Clearance wasn't all that great for Northern Edge, but they get a reprieve and a chance to bring the puck down ice. Maybe put some pressure on. That's Riley Dufour. We haven't said a lot of names out of Northern Edge, and we nearly had a 1-goal game on the shot from deep along the right slot. Just bounced off the left post. Might have been deflected by McGuire as well, but he won't deflect that one away. The cross-eyes pass and the tap-in makes it 2-1. It's Hunter Sanders with the goal. This is what Northern Edge needed. Perfect angle. Riley Dufour with the cross-eyes pass right to Hunter Sanders along the far post. Had to make sure the doors to the penalty box were closed. That could be a hazard. If you get a collision or a pileup there. So after Tartan dominated the first period, Northern Edge gets a golden chance and they make the most of it. Now Tartan swings it around. Jorgensen. Bennis has to back up because he was outside the attack zone, so everyone from Tartan had to retreat. Bennis getting held up by Ben Fruth, who wrapped him up for a little bit. Gives Northern Edge a chance. Parent playing a check. Stoppage in play with 15:01. Offside was the call. Another hit. Now Tartan trying to step up the physicality a little bit. Northern Edge, another takeaway. And a bump that dislodges the net. The momentum by James Gojak carried himself into McGuire. Things got a little dicey for a moment. Again, the net dislodged. Face off at neutral ice after they reset the net. Obviously, the net has to be stationed along that red line. But we are seeing a little more spunk, a little more energy out of Northern Edge. We'll see how that carries over as we get another whistle and another stoppage with 14:19. It's another face-off call. Northern Edge racing back, and they fling the puck to the other side. There have been a few hits already in the second period. Tartan, that's Luttrell. Shot glove save by Husby. Tartan wins, going right at Husby again. Able to get the stop. Luttrell, shot wide left. The ricochet gets past one Tartan player. Trying to salvage it was Carter Martin. And we have to get a new puck. After the last one left the field of play. Oh, there's a tug from behind. That's going to be a penalty on the jersey tug by Mike Mansfield. That was blatantly obvious. Holding will be the call. And in real time, you can't grab a player by his jersey in any sport. Second power play chance for Northern Edge. They did not convert their first. In fact, it was Tartan who had the upper hand in that 2-minute stretch. Northern Edge trying to change that here. puck does a full lap around the rink. Northern Edge having to retrieve it behind their own net. Trying to build an attacking chance as Gutierrez zooms down ice. Shot, pad save, McGuire. Tartan gets in front of it and will clear it. They'll change it up as Northern Edge has to go back again. Second clearance already for Tartan's penalty kill. And a frustrated Riley Dufour as he could not corral the pass and watches it sail behind the line for icing. This has been a struggle bus affair. For Northern Edge. Under a minute to go, and they've had to go back into their own zone 3 times already on this power play. And Tartan pinching them off again, not giving them much in the way of lanes to work with. Under 30 seconds. McClellan finds his man, briefly anyway. Remical had to do a spin move to locate the puck. It was able to catch it on the fly. Maybe there's a chance for a shorthanded look, but it's going to kill off the power play with 5 seconds left. Now Parent with a chance. One-on-one, gets through his last defender, hit from behind. Northern Edge able to ward off a potential attacking chance as we return to full strength. That's a gutsy, but potentially influential call or play there on the part of Northern Edge. Because if you're not careful, you're looking at a penalty shot, or at the very least, a power play to the other team. We'll have a face-off in the Northern Edge zone after the icing call. 11:06 left in the second. Here's another look. That was just a good stick check. I believe Tyler James was the one who got to him. And again, that is not an easy play to make on the run. Or should I say in stride. You can't really run on the ice like that, or you shouldn't. Not without proper skates. But as you saw in the replay, if that stick check, if that makes contact, or if that ends up doing something unplanned, unexpected, you're looking at a penalty or a penalty shot. Tartan wins the face-off. Shot save Husby. That was sheer on the attempt this time. Tartan's relentlessness has helped them, even though they gave up a goal early in this second period. They seem to have regained their form. Bennis with the puck drop. Now Northern Edge has it. That's Gojak. And ricochets into the netting. Face-off won by Tartan. There's a hit along the boards. This is Dufour. Gets pinched off again. Rutherford stopped in his tracks. Just a one-goal game, but Tartan maintains their advantage, their grip. Tartan wins the scrum. And Charlie Campbell ends up tackling the goalie. Inadvertently, take a look at this. No penalty issued. We'll just have a face-off. I see Campbell was pushed from behind and the momentum carried him into Husby. Hence no penalty call. Parent, after the face-off win, once again sent away that time. It was Matthew Walters with the stop. We'll have another face-off in the northern edge zone after the icing call, but that's the second time Parent has been warded off. And again, those are the kinds of plays that could be difference makers depending on the result if Northern Edge is able to come back to at least tie or get the win. Remical won the scrum. Now he gets held up, pushed down to the ice. Tartan fans wanted a penalty. None issued. Will play on. Northern Edge nearly gets the wraparound. That would have been a huge swing of events. Tartan trying to proverbially exhale. Parent comes up with it again. Taken away by Walters. Will skirted around the boards. Some frenetic pace, frenetic action unfolding over these last few minutes. As Tartan regathers. Shot knocked away by the stick of Husby. Dufour. Stick check leads to a takeaway. Picked up by James. He takes a shot. Husby able to get on it. Now Venice taps it. And an offside call once more will put us back at neutral ice. Here's another look at the play that was ruled incidental. There was a takedown by Matthew Walters of sorts. Tartan fans understandably upset. Maybe there's a case for a penalty, hard to say. Tartan. A mid-air snatch by Long, but they can't do much with it. Dufour. Quick passing set, shot wide right from Gutierrez. Long, now Tesser. Gutierrez nearly had a golden chance as the loose puck glided right to him. James trying to catch up to it. Tartan on the follow through. Shot sails wide left. Now Northern Edge has numbers. This is Sanders. Behind the back shot, pass to Dufour, who rifles it in. Top shelf, 2-2. Here's something you don't see often, a behind-the-back cross-ice pass. More common in basketball where you don't have to worry about a stick. But if you've got the handling technique down, you can make some magic happen, as Northern Edge just did. And after the first period where they got walloped, Northern Edge has found their edge, so to speak. I'm sure that's why they call themselves Northern Edge. just for those references whenever they get covered in a game. So the goal comes at exactly 10 minutes in the second for Riley Dufour. We'll have a face-off in the Northern Edge zone. The counters, though, Northern Edge's ticket to getting back into contention. Jorgensen with the knockback to the Northern Edge net area. The Northern Edge has it. I was mentioning the face-off wins being a problem for Northern Edge in the first period. What has changed? A more opportunistic mindset. Even though Tartan still has a considerable lead in shots on goal, 23-10 on the board. A much different story is taking shape in the second period. 5:53 left, face-off neutral ice. Well, Northern Edge, again, they want to show they've got a little more fight than last year. And when I spoke with Jason here briefly, he said there was some progress in that Chisago Lakes game that may not have been evident if you were reading box scores. Rosenthal cross-ice pass. They were trying to connect for Rutherford, couldn't quite do it. I think the difference here is how Northern Edge has responded. They had a rough stretch in the first period as Rutherford takes the shot that was deflected by the glove of Husby. And now the puck nestled along the near corner. And will ricochet behind the red line for an icing call. .5:02 left in the second. But I think the difference, one, that bad stretch against Chisago Lakes came in the third period as Luttrell takes a shot. Husby with a pad save. Again, Tartan's face-off prominence remaining a factor. They scored once off a face-off in the first period, and Northern Edge has to be mindful so that it may not bite them again. Here they come on another counter chance. Pad save by McGuire on the attempt by Sanders. Dufour nearly got out in front of it. Now Pavel to Campbell. No one there to pick up the pass initially. Martin. That one ricochets off the left post. Second try. Husby able to reach it with his stick and freeze it with 4:13. I would say the onus now is on Tartan after Northern Edge threw a couple of punches on those counters, those odd man opportunities. Around we go. Bennis. He gains control. Shot goes off the boards. Knocked away. Tartan trying to mount more pressure, though. Get that forecheck going. A hit from behind. Tartan wins the scrum. They try the wraparound. That doesn't work. And no shot attempt for Remical. Northern Edge. A successful defense. on that sequence. That's Caden Swenson. Mansfield. At it now, Northern Edge sends it the other way. And another trip to the Northern Edge zone for a face-off following another icing call. Mansfield and Isaac Long out there. We've got the deep line for Tartan. And we've got Ian Smith, who's trying to glide his way toward the net. Instead, Tartan will regroup. Trying to make their move again. No, Husby will freeze it as Tesser was charging toward his spot. A few folks who don't have games already scheduled, already making the trek. We'll see what kind of trek expedition is had at the end of this one with 2:04 left. Whether some folks have to make late travel plans or will stay closer to home for the holiday weekend. Tartan wins another face-off, and Husby couldn't secure it. Kieran Moylan spotted the opportunity and pounced on it. It was tough to see from my vantage point, but Husby wasn't able to snag the puck firmly. When Moylan recognized that, watch him react. Moylan, his first career goal as a junior. And they're done with just under 2 minutes to go in the second. Kieran Moylan is going to have a highlight. And we're going to have a high sticking penalty on Shear that will carry over into the third. And we got the tail end of that penalty. You saw Shear's stick getting caught up, I believe, with Dufour. That led to the high sticking call. Again, there are a couple variations of high sticking. But Northern Edge, they have struggled on the power play thus far. They do get a shot there from Sanders. But can they generate a look or two? That is the question. 1:20 left in the second, and again, the penalty will carry over into the third. Shot save McGuire. Not a good clearance for Tartan, but the poke by Campbell will allow the Titans to change up their line with 1 minute to go in the second, right after Tartan regained momentum on a heads-up display by Moylan. They've got to go on the penalty kill again, but they've done well so far. Northern Edge 0 for 2 in power plays. With one ongoing, Remical gathers, shot, score! Remical to McClellan, and Tartan with a shorthanded burst with 36.9 on the clock. McClellan with his third. The second shorthanded goal for Tartan in the early stages of the season. And we were talking about bad stretches on the part of Northern Edge. They worked their way back. And then in the span of 80 seconds, they find themselves back where they started. Face off in the Tartan zone, or Northern Edge zone, I should say, after the icing call. Icing still applies on power plays. They do not apply if you're shorthanded. We'll have another face-off because the attempt down ice got caught in the ceiling struts, the rafters. And at a lot of these ice arenas, whether it's Tartan or Cretin-Durham Hall, they're not that big. Roseville too, so not unlike volleyball, as we have 10 seconds left. The ceiling can play a factor in these games. Tartan offside. Rutherford not across the blue line in time before his teammate got there. So a face-off in neutral ice with 7 seconds. Taking away a possibility. Northern Edge wins it, and that's probably going to bring us to the end of the second. Yes, it will. So Tartan, after taking a couple of punches, delivers a pair of blows to end the second, in the proverbial sense, of course. They still lead by 2 with the score now 4-2. There will be 20 seconds remaining on the high sticking penalty for Tartan. We'll have more highlights and analysis when we return. This is high school boys hockey on SCC Sports.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. It was time for me to change my life and the lives of my family, so I went back and I got my high school diploma. That was the catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher.
Mom, this is your very first yearbook.
Your commitment to education motivates me, your coworkers, and your students.
You showed me that if you come from nothing, you can still be anything.
You told me I deserve to succeed. It's been 15 years and I still live by that.
You're the model for success for your kids, grandkids, and your students.
When I look at all these success stories, I cannot help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy. It's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is being prepared for the journey ahead. Love doesn't let any concerns go unsaid. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax. It always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax, it always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Sit up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong. The good news is, Anthony, the human we're tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with strong new gear to defend against the flu. So let's go fight for Anthony. Are you with me?
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Sit up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong, so I won't sugarcoat it. I need each one of you on your A game. The good news is, Anthony, the human body we've been tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with brand new gear to defend against the flu. That's right, we've upgraded our game with this new equipment. They give you a little extra boost. So let's go fight for Anthony, for his mom, his co-workers, that nice lady Patricia that lives down the street with the cute dog. In the face of viral adversity, we make Anthony thrive so he can protect himself and the people he loves most. Are you with me?
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Resurfacing the ice one more time. Tartan resurfacing their game after giving up a pair of goals to Northern Edge early in the second. It's a 4-2 lead for the Tartan North Co-op program over Northern Edge, a co-op of North Branch and St. Francis. A lot to get through in the second period, so we'll start with Northern Edge. There's the cross-ice pass from Riley DeFore to Hunter Sanders. Short time later, well, there's another look at the Sanders goal. That was 47 seconds into the second. Northern Edge getting a couple of stops against potential Tartan plays. And then with 7 minutes to go exactly in the second, there's the behind the back pass from Sanders to Riley DeFore, as the two have traded a goal and an assist. That was a beauty of a play by Sanders to score during an on-man rush. Tartan would get their reply, and it began with the first career goal for Kierland Moylan. Took it for himself, and then a shorthanded score. Remical to Benny McClellan. Here's another look at that play. A change in direction by Remical. McClellan was right there. Perfect pass, perfect shot, and Tartan scored with 36 seconds left in the second. So they still hold a 2-goal lead. Still no power plays for Tartan. There will be 20 seconds left for Northern Edge in their power play. And the shots on goal, Northern Edge getting a few more in the second, but so did Tartan. It's now a 30-12 advantage. Tartan maintaining the upper hand as long as they don't allow any more odd man rushes, counter opportunities. There's a good chance they'll come out with a win, but still a long way to go with the third period coming up in just a few minutes. This is high school boys hockey on SEC Sports. Tartan leads Northern Edge 4-2.
Mom, did you really need to buy 2 can openers for our emergency kit?
I can't help it. They're 2 for 1. What's this?
We need to keep our family communication plan safe in case of an emergency.
Thanks, Tita. Oh, man.
Well, good thing we kept all the lights we used for Diwali.
I've got the battery pack.
Keep my phone powered so we don't miss any alerts.
What about game night?
Sounds good.
Oh, we have to get to Mom and Dad's and get them somewhere safe. I've got the evacuation route loaded on my phone.
I've got an updated list of Dad's meds.
And I've got just what we need to get them to take this seriously.
If that doesn't convince them that we thought this through, I don't know what would.
Start a conversation with your family and plan together for emergencies.
I'm a different kind of threat. I can't be scared away or negotiated with. You can't call the cops on me.
Do you still want to hang out after?
I don't want your money or your TV. I don't even have to break in. I'm invited.
Self-love made me a better dad because I realized my worth. Arapaho way, you gotta pray for yourself as well as for everybody else, but never forget yourself. The word father means a lot to me. When I give my love to my children as a father, I can see it. That's the benefit of being a father is seeing those smiling faces.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need, and it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundedouttogether.org.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
When I came back from the war, I was barely hanging on by a thread. I'm here today because of Tanya's relentless efforts in trying to get me healed. And says, Michael, I know you've got a plan to take your life today, but if you give me just 5 more minutes to love you.
5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, honey, 5 more minutes to love.
Michael has actually taught me what it looks like to accept help.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. It was time for me to change my life and the lives of my family So I went back and I got my high school diploma. That was the catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher.
Mom, this is your very first yearbook.
Your commitment to education motivates me, your coworkers, and your students.
You showed me that if you come from nothing, you can still be anything.
You told me I deserve to succeed. It's been 15 years, and I still live by that.
You're the model for success for your kids, grandkids, and your students.
When I look at all these success stories, I cannot help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Four to the score. One more period to go. When we resume, we'll have 20 seconds left in the Northern Edge power play. Husby taking a lot of shots, 26 saves. I often mention with goalies, if you're leading the state in that category, and that is a good sign of your goaltending abilities, but it also means you are withstanding a barrage of shot attempts. McGuire, 10 saves through 2 periods. Northern Edge, here's what they have coming up. They will be active over Thanksgiving weekend with Providence Academy and Two Rivers on the schedule Friday and Saturday. So they'll have a chance to rest up, gobble up, masticate those turkeys before a pair of Thanksgiving matchups. On the Tartan side, they have just one game over the Thanksgiving weekend against Somerset. They'll have 4 straight home games in the month of December. Hill Murray, St. Paul, Simley, and South St. Paul. And then they'll have 4 straight road games after that. But we're ready for one more period of play. With 15 seconds left in the power play for Northern Edge. Northern Edge won the faceoff with the puck nestled along the near side. And another penalty will expire. It's the 3rd penalty kill for Tartan. Northern Edge 0 for 3. Now they look for the sneak attack. Nothing there for Tyler Pavel. More contact along the near boards. A little bit of pushing and shoving ensues. Tartan passes back, shot from deep, ricochets into the plexiglass. Back out Pavel, over to Bennis. Another shot knocked away. Face-off in the neutral zone. Just underway here in the 3rd. On the eve of Turkey Day. Another face-off victory. Tesser. That one just went wide right. Puck squirts out, back to Tesser, who regroups again, has to wait until everyone clears. When the puck goes behind the blue line. Rosenthal has it. Another shot around. They go. Tesser trying to chase it. Northern Edge fends them off, at least for the time being. Now it's Tesser. A lot of traffic that he had to get through. Northern Edge able to get the clearance and avoid the icing call. So they'll get some fresh legs in there. And we'll continue playing. Markford with the wraparound. Tartan will do the same. Husby will freeze. I think what the situation was, Moylan, I think, was looking for Markford. Couldn't find him, but Husby wasn't going to take a chance. As Northern Edge is trying to keep this one within reach and get their first win of the season. They've only played one game. Tartan split their first two. Occupying the extreme ends of the pendulum. A 12-0 loss to St. Thomas Academy. A 13-1 win over Malacca. 4 hits being laid. Northern Edge. Looking for another try. That's Shear. Tries to wrap around, goes right back to him as it bounced off the post. Shot from straight away. Second try. Oh, Markford took a hit. He dropped his stick. He's hurt. Husby with the save on the shot by Jorgensen, but Husby, or I should say Markford, going back to the bench. He is holding his arm. I think he took an inadvertent hit. Dropped his stick and is holding his right arm. You're seeing Devin Shear on the bench. Markford is on the left side, or he was. Looks to be all right. Trying to shake it off, but that's a dicey situation to be in. Northern Edge can't get the pass in. That could give Tartan a chance. Pavel unable to get the puck. It was right there rolling along the boards for the taking. Rutherford losing his stick. So both teams whiff on a chance. Northern Edge, an errant pass, and Pavel, if he makes a clean play, gets a clean grab, who knows? Rosenthal bouncing it over to Pavel. He's taking a few spills. Everyone has tonight. Now Tartan lays a hit. That gives Pavel a chance. Shot goes right and behind into the plexiglass. That was Campbell with the hit that freed things up for Pavel. Icing is the call, and we'll go back to the Northern Edge zone. We may have another face-off. No, icing waved off. Northern Edge getting back there in time. There's 3 penalties. All have gone against Tartan. Martin offside. McClellan was ahead of him. If you just joined us on SEC, Tyler Pavel scoring a pair of goals in the first. Boylan with his first career goal. McClellan getting his third of the early season. Sanders and Dufour have goals for Northern Edge, as we'll have a face-off in the Tartan zone. Rutherford gets into a tussle with Paul Walters, at least a brief one. Tartan regathers in their own zone. See this quite a bit, covering hockey. You've got to watch for those errant passes in your own zone. It nearly led to a play for Dufour. Action heating up behind the net. If you don't like contentious action, and just as I say that, it really is getting contentious. Referees are getting in there to play peacemaker. And we also have a penalty to sort out. It's a roughing call. It appears it will go against Tartan. Although based on that replay, it's hard to say what the call would be or what the official ruling would be. There was some back and forth going on. Charlie Campbell will have to serve this penalty, and it will be a roughing penalty on Tartan. So a power play chance for Northern Edge with 11:14 left in the third. But power plays have not fared well for Northern Edge. They were slightly better in the last one, but really haven't been able to construct an organized attack. Tartan in the last one scored shorthanded. For what it's worth, the power plays tonight, the first time Northern Edge has been on a power play this season. They did not get one, and they lost to Chisago Lakes. But they have to start this one deep in their own zone again. Tartan looking for the clearance, and it took a perpendicular ricochet. Now McClellan will back up. Not interested in an attack right now. Instead, Tartan will dump it. This has been a recurring theme. A lot of dumps behind the Northern Edge net, and you just can't put together any semblance of a power play set if you're stuck having to retrieve it deep in your own zone. Tartan on the move again. That time it looked like they were at least aiming for a possible shorthanded play. But Tyler Pavel sends it back. 40 seconds left in the power play. And Tartan may not be the top team in the state, but their power play tonight, that's going to be a face-off and neutral ice because the flip down ice ricocheted off of one of the ceiling rafters. Like we said, a lot of these ice arenas don't have high clearances. It's not unlike volleyball. The difference is in volleyball, you do have to play off those ricochets. In hockey, it's akin to a Plinko chip getting stuck. Play is stopped, and in hockey we have a face-off. In Plinko, they replay it. There's your fun fact for the day. Here's Mark Fort on the run, shot, second try, glides in. He taps in his own rebound, and Tartan scores their second shorthanded goal of this game. And we also have another first. It's the first career goal for Joshua Markford. to go along with the first career goal for Moylan. Markfort, I see what happened. There was one Northern Edge defender, I believe that was Ian Smith. He got tripped up himself, went down, and that gave Markfort the opening. Another penalty killed off. Whoops. Clearance ends up going into the Northern Edge bench, but Tartan up 5-2, and their penalty kill superb. Northern Edge 0 for 4. Tartan has scored 2 shorthanded goals tonight. It's a banner kind of night for Tartan if they can hang on for the final 9 minutes, and with the 3-goal lead, they've got a good chance. Pass ricochets off the boards. Long will pick it up. They'll take a chance at Husby, who gloves it and freezes it with 8:50 to go. Moylan and Markfort, their first career goals in varsity play. And you got to see those milestones live on SEC. Luttrell with the shot from the slot. Husby another glove save, and we'll do this again. Luttrell couldn't handle it after the faceoff. Now Northern Edge goes down ice. Another whistle, another faceoff. Penalty, and it's on Tartan. The penalty for slashing on Mike Mansfield. I didn't see it from here. I don't know if we had a look at it or not, but I saw, I think, a Northern Edge fan jokingly signaling to decline the penalty. You can't do that in hockey, in case you're wondering. But I don't blame the sentiment. Shot from the right slot deflected by Tartan. Northern Edge gets one. And I thought a little extracurricular, but players just didn't hear the whistle. McGuire, though, with a rare moment where his services were needed. The story of this game has been Tartan's penalty kill, producing 2 shorthanded goals. That's why I made note of the one fan who was saying decline the penalty, because the penalty kill has been a boon for the Titans instead of a hindrance. Pass deep, shot near straight away, goes wide left. That was Walters. Northern Edge trying to get a quick set in there. Whistle away from the action. And it's for a cross-checking penalty on Ian Smith. So that will take away the power play, and we'll have 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute 13. There's a look at the hit that preceded the penalty call. If you're Tartan, maybe you're slightly bummed. because it takes you off the penalty kill. Four on four for the next minute. And with that, we go back to even strength rules. Northern Edge called offside. So a face-off in neutral ice. Another penalty. This one on Tartan right after the face-off. So we go to 4 on 3 for 50 seconds. This one on Martin. For tripping. Blinking, you'll miss it. So we'll have 4 on 3 for 50 seconds, 4 on 4 for about 20 seconds, and then an abbreviated power play for Northern Edge. Big chance here for Northern Edge to open the door, and whiffing the shot attempt was Caden Swenson. Northern Edge stays with it, and Swenson taps in the rebound. That is the first power play goal for Northern Edge, unofficially 1 of 6. So we'll go back to 4 on 4 for the next minute 13. And Caden Swenson with a brush of redemption. Was wide open on the pass to him along the right slot. With the shot attempt, now Parent right at Husby off the faceoff. Well, the faceoff in the Northern Edge zone following the save and the freeze. Shear to Parent. His pass right to Evan Scott. But he can't maneuver past Tartan's defender. He'll have to go behind the net and regroup. Not much Northern Edge could do there. Tartan able to get back in time and trap a streaking stick handler. Parent had to look for a moment. It's Scott to Wolters. Wolters through traffic. Trying to make something of it. Slightly tripped up on his way back. Was on his knees as he was rummaging toward the net. And an icing call on Northern Edge. Again, they will have an abbreviated power play of 22 seconds. In a high-scoring affair, 5-3. And for Tartan, this is almost right down the middle after their first 2 games. Another shot off the face-off win. Another save for Husby. Jorgensen. Now it is Northern Edge on a power play with 20 seconds. We'll have a face-off in the Northern Edge zone after the freeze by Husby. Campbell. Face-off circle with Paul Wolters. Northern Edge taking their time. They don't appear to be in any hurry, at least for the moment. Now Hunter Sanders trying to make his move. Swenson shot from deep. Puck ricocheted back out, picked up by Tartan. And now both teams are at full strength with 5:15 to go in the third. Tartan 2-on-1 shot. Husby able to stop it. That kind of game, folks. We've talked about bad stretches for Northern Edge. You do wonder if they didn't suffer through a series of setbacks in that first period, what this game would look like. They trailed 5-2, it's 5-3, and I say that because Northern Edge just couldn't win much in the way of faceoffs or almost anything else. As Tesser takes the shot from along the left side, goes around. Northern Edge trying to snare it. Instead, Rosenthal able to get there first. Rutherford. That is pass deflected. Everyone circling around. We are at a point, and so one of the officials has to duck on the clearance attempt. We could be getting to a point, I'll be curious to see when. It's a 2-goal game. Northern Edge could conceivably, as we'll have a freeze by McGuire, 4:05 left. We may reach a situation where Northern Edge decides to pull the goalie and try to build their way, try to scramble, scratch, and claw their way even as a stick gets knocked loose. Delayed penalty on Tartan. Well, this could be a prime chance here. As Tartan has been dealt several penalties over the course of this game. This one on Carter Martin. A barrage of penalties. Here's a look. And I didn't see much.
Minor penalty has been assessed to Tartan North. Number 27, Carter Martin. 2 minutes of slashing.
Slashing was the call. It didn't look like much of one, but it was enough to warrant the penalty. Tartan has the puck again. And as long as they have it, well, they're in their own zone. Again, interesting situation here. Maybe a more gutsy, more aggressive play call would have you pull the goalie to get a 6-on-4, but it's one of those tough situations to gauge. You have to think of time and score and where you're at over the course of the game. Northern Edge with 1 power play goal. Unofficially, I've got him down at 1 of 7, but one of those power plays was 22 seconds. They're called for icing, so a face-off back at the Northern Edge zone, and that's the worst thing you want when you're on the power play. And while they were able to get a power play goal from Caden Swenson on a 4-on-3, in the more traditional senses, they turned it over again. Markford sprinting back, nearly had his 2nd career goal. We just haven't seen a lot of composure in terms of attacking sets, passing set plays on the part of Northern Edge. Just not a lot of opportunities toward the net. And that's one reason for it. They've had a few passing errors just not quite fully in focus, but there's still a lot of season to be played. As Tartan will clear it one more time. Moving forward, Northern Edge, I think we'll spend a few practices or sessions on refining the power play unit and getting themselves more opportunities, more quality chances to convert those power plays. So Tartan kills off another one, under 2 minutes to go. They have just over a 2-to-1 edge in shots on goal. But I think that first period stands out most. Shear, shot, save, Husby. The other problem, you can't pull the goalie here with Tartan able to get the puck and keep pressure on Northern Edge. Takeaway, shot, Husby saves it again. Parent was right there. And more of the same. Northern Edge with turnovers in their own zone. Fortunate that they haven't given up the backbreaker score, but you can't do a whole lot. You can't pull the goalie because you can't get down ice. And they turn it over again. This is Shear. We'll see if Tartan makes a play for it. They do. Husby with the save. We'll have a face-off, 46 seconds. This is fabulous execution late in the third period by Tartan to nurse themselves to victory. Well, 2 goals isn't exactly a small lead or a treacherous one, but that's going to be a likely reason, one of them, that they win this game, barring something weird. The penetration, the possession time, and spending so much in the attack zone in the final minutes kept Northern Edge from trying anything aggressive, so time will wind down and Tartan will pick up their second straight win. Not quite as many goals as their last outing. As we get a shot, McGuire will freeze it with 13.3, but you're at a point now where you'd have to win the face-off score and then win another face-off. The time and probability of the scenario here is astronomically low. But Tartan came out flying in the first period, won a ton of face-offs, and they responded after Northern Edge tied it up at 2, scoring 3 unanswered as they'll clear it one more time. We'll have icing, but it's academic with 3.6 on the clock. Tartan's big answer came late in the second, including a shorthanded score in the final minute of the second by Benny McClellan. 2 shorthanded goals for the Titans. And they'll take a 5-3 win over Northern Edge as they head to the Thanksgiving holiday. They'll go to 2-1-0. Northern Edge drops to 0-2-0. Tyler Pavel with 2 goals. Moylan and Markfort scored their first career varsity goals, and Benny McClellan adds 1 late in the second for the Titans. Northern Edge, 3 goals from 3 different players: Dufour, Sanders, and Swenson. Hunter Sanders 47 seconds into the second, Dufour 10 minutes into the second, and Swenson midway through the third on a 4-on-3 power play. Before we wrap it up, we'll take one more look at the third period highlights, where Tartan held serve. And this was the big play. Markfort had an open lane as Ian Smith just stumbled, just lost his footing. Markfort tapped in his own rebound. The Northern Edge wasn't done. They would get one a little later on a power play, but we'll take a look at some more scoring chances from the 2 sides. It was controlled by Tartan, who finishes with 48 shots on goal. And when you have a more than 2-to-1 advantage, you get nearly 50 on your opponent. The odds bode well. Here's that was the power play goal by Swenson. missed the first chance, trailed the puck and came up with it. But that would be it as both teams meet at center ice for a post-game huddle. We saw the JV teams do that. It's not a sight you see often for high school hockey, but it's a reminder of the extended brotherhood that is high school sports. Again, Tartan simply overpowering Northern Edge in key areas, whether it was that first period assault and all those face-off wins or their short-handed prowess, scoring 2 on the penalty kill. That all added up, and Tartan will head to Thanksgiving with a 5-3 victory. Of course, our winter coverage is just beginning on SEC Sports. We'll have plenty of games coming your way in the month of December. But we will take a break over the Thanksgiving holiday. And we will rejoin you December 9th for White Bear Lake and Roseville boys hockey. So, from all of us here on SEC Sports, this is Mike Beaton wishing you a Merry Thanksgiving for those who celebrate, and we'll see you in December. Tartan beats Northern Edge 5-3 in high school boys hockey. We'll see you next time.